this is not the goal of life. The goal is to reach the place from where you cannot fall back into samsara again. Padam tat yasmin gataha na nivartanti bhuyaha. That destination, padam, Krishna uses the word padam, means a state, or you can say a place that you eventually reach. Padam tat yasmin gataha, having gone there, na nivartanti bhuyaha. There is no coming back again, after reaching which there is no repeated coming and going. He continues, cha, and tam eva prapadye, I seek refuge in him alone, Adyam Purusham, who is the primeval being, or Purusha. Yataha pravrittihi prasrita, from whom this creation streamed forth, Purani, and who is ancient. One of the statements that Krishna is making here appears a bit confusing, where Krishna says, Tam prapadye, I take refuge in him, or I surrender to him. But as most of the scholars explain, it should be read as Tam prapadye iti, meaning to whom you can go and say, I take refuge in you. Only that Adyam Purusham Purani, from whom all creation has come, is worth standing before and saying, Tam prapadye, I surrender to you, or I take refuge in you. That is what it means. So beautifully Krishna says, that being, or that state, or that entity in front of whom you can stand and say, Tam prapadye, I surrender to you. Unfortunately, we make this statement in front of every other person that we meet. But what Krishna is saying here is, this ultimate being, this Purushottama, is the only one who is worthy of standing before and saying Tam prapadye. That is what Krishna is saying here. Cha tam eva prapadye iti adyam purusham yataha pravritti prasrita purani, from whom everything has come, who is ancient, in whose presence you can stand and say, I surrender to you. And Krishna specifically states, Padam tat parimargitavyam, that final state or goal must be explored or sought. Right? That goal in front of which you can stand and say, I surrender to you, that state reaching which you will never come back, that state has to be parimargitavyam, has to be explored. The word margitavyam means to search or explore. Marga means path. Right? So margitavyam means to explore the means or path which you can reach to understand or discover this. So margitavyam itself means to explore. And we've seen earlier in the Gita, whenever prefixes such as pari are attached to a verb, it refers to the same action but in a specific kind. We've seen it in pariprashna, anusmarana, right? So a prefix such as pari being attached to margitavyam will make me. Parimargitavyam means a certain kind of exploration. This means searching for the source guided by the right words. Since the samsara is so complex, and we probably are searching for something that we have no idea about, right? At least if you know what you're searching for looks like, then it is easy to find it. Here we have no idea what we're searching for, what the source looks like, or how am I supposed to search for it. That is why it has to be parimargitavyam. It has to be guided. That exploration has to be guided by the scriptures and the words of the enlightened masters. So that is what Krishna conveys here. So as we were seeing, what the twofold things that Krishna was saying in this shloka and the previous one is, first of all, he says, use the acts of non-attachment and keep cutting yourself off from this further branching, and then through the guidance of the words of the masters and the scriptures, search for that state reaching which you will not return back. Search for that being in front of whom it is worthwhile to stand and say, Tam prapadye, I offer myself to you, myself to this being, right? So that is what Krishna conveys in shlokas 3 and 4. We'll go to shloka number 5 and we'll see what Krishna is telling there.
निर्मानमोहाजित संगदोषा अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययं तत्.
The wise one who are free from pride and delusion, who have conquered the evil of association, who are ever devoted to spirituality, completely free from desires, free from the dualities called happiness and sorrow, reach the undecaying state. So that is the 5th verse of the 15th chapter. Krishna mentioned 3 things earlier.